She pierced the guarded mysteries of world force. A gleaner of infinitesimal grains of truth, a sheaf binder of infinite experience, she pierced the guarded mysteries of world force and her magic methods wrapped in 1,000 veils. Or she gathered the lost secrets dropped by time in the dust and crannies of his mounting route, mid old forsaken dreams of hastening mind and buried remnants of forgotten space. There is a possibility of the birth into a power of light. Surely, not by reason was creation made, and not by reason can the truth be seen. Beyond reason are other more and more refined faculties: discernment, inspiration, intuition, revelation. In the spiritual plane's higher mind, illumined mind, intuition, overmind beyond which is the supermind. When seen in the totality of that perspective, ours is only a child heart's cry for knowing things which it cannot follow, it cannot know. With reason nothing is known, because truth is known only when all is seen. But one day the mask must disappear. Indeed, what should reveal itself is the soul of the infinite. Ashwapati's early yoga begins. He hears the secret voice. He receives the word that knows. Visions of the higher realms come to him crowding like gifts, and joys never felt by man rush into his mortal limbs. Immortal eyes approach him and look into his. Great beings whom we consider as no more living on earth, the realized souls visit him, as did Vivekananda visit Sri Aurobindo when he was an under-trial prisoner in Alipur jail, 1908 to 1909, or the Vedic goddesses revealing the secret of the Vedas. Also invade him the hostile powers, they proclaiming the gospel of the opposite. He is a precious soul, and there is the battle between good and evil to take possession of it. But for him each day is a spiritual adventure and romance, and an experience to grow constantly in the powers of the Spirit. He is living in a reign of wonder and delight. Around 1st January 1908, Sri Aurobindo sat with Lel in Baroda for 3 days and had the realization of the passive Brahman, or the silent mind. Within months later, he had the second major realization of the active Brahman, of the divine presence everywhere, Vasudev Idi Sarvam. This was when he was in Alipur jail as an under-trial prisoner. If these are realizations of the profound Adhyatma Yoga, then we should also remember that Sri Aurobindo had already received its foundational principles in the jail. The Sapta Chatushya, which later became a part of the yoga of self-perfection. This self-perfection including the awakening of the supramental senses and the knowledge of the 3 divisions of times, the past, the present and the future, Trikal Drishti. A pure perception has brought to Ashwapati the gifts of the inner senses, behind which is the primary sense, Manas. The 5 elemental states of the ether, air, fire, water, earth, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Apas, Prithvi, have brought the corresponding subtle organs of perception: ear, touch, eye, tongue, nose, or Shabd, Sparsh, Roop, Ras, Gandh. These instruments of cognition now have entered from the casual into the subtle physical, these becoming the part of his physical. And all this happened before the pre-Pondicherry period, before 1910. The realization had already reached a high Upanishadic peak. In the wake of the inspired knowledge, there came also inspiration with her lightning feet, and the inexpressible truth revealed to him its silent soul. The primordial nescience is rent, even as the closed beyond bared itself to him. She arrives as a sudden visitor, and the unknowable's vast estate she plunders for man. There in her speed immortal words rush to mortal man, In that arrival of the goddess inspiration, Ashwapati's voyaging soul meets luminous beings, great powers of light and force. It was during this period that Sri Aurobindo received knowledge of the Vedic goddesses, Dakshina, Ila, Mahi, Saraswati. They associated together in a constant formula in those hymns of invocation in which the gods are called by Agni to the sacrifice. To him, to the young yogi, came the powers of discernment, intuition, inspiration, and revelation.